Sticks and stones.
What?
Just something I remembered, sir. Albert Einstein once said that if World War III were to be fought with nuclear weapons, World War IV would be fought with sticks and stones.
Do it.
It's time.
When you think of the great time-traveling movies of all time, the first ones that come to mind are Back to the Future, The Time Machine, Terminator 1 and 2, and of course, Time Chasers.
My car! My God! What the hell did you do to my car? I don't drive.
Those are all great films, but I'm pretty sure I know of one film that's never mentioned in this conversation, TimeMaster. Released in 1995, it was written, directed, and had some of its music composed by 1995's version of Tommy Wiseau, James Glickenhaus. Mr. Glickenhaus is probably best known for his 1980 film The Exterminator, a film widely regarded as a cute little revenge movie. He also produced 1990's coming-of-age film, Frankenhooker. And with that resume, James Glickenhaus is definitely the person you'd want to make a kids movie. Anyway, TimeMaster's real star is Jesse Cameron-Glickenhaus. I mean, fucking hell, talk about nepotism. I mean, fuck, it's bad enough that this movie's full of one Glickenhaus, let alone two. And to make things worse, this kid can't act.
Freeze! Hands in the air, bend over, touch the table, spread your legs, spread your fingers, assume the position.
Kids, this is the #1 reason why you shouldn't employ people just because they are family. Moving on from the nepotism, the next question is, what is this movie about? One would think that would be a simple answer, but it's not. To say the plot of this movie is confusing is an understatement. It's not just me that has a hard time with this plot. Websites and even the back of the VHS box have a hard time making any sense out of the plot of this movie. You want to know what the back of the box says? Well, here you go. The year is 2006. In a faraway galaxy, collectors travel through time and space, gathering human contestants for virtual reality games that will affect the destiny of entire worlds. Isaiah is a collector who becomes disenchanted with the sport when he's befriended by Jesse, a young boy determined to find a better life for himself and his sister. When Isaiah reveals to Jesse the mysteries of time and dimension, the boy's thrilling journey begins. Traveling to the past, he meets Annie, and together with Isaiah, they embark on a remarkable voyage beyond imagination. Transcending lifespans and galaxies, they come face to face with the chairman. What's at stake in this futuristic adventure? Only the fate of the Earth itself. Now, to be fair, that's a pretty accurate plot description. Minus the year, this movie does not take place in 2006. The end of the world takes place in 2006. The movie starts in 2007. The game is played in 2008. And if you think you're confused now, just wait, it's only gonna get worse. But there's gotta be a more accurate plot description out there. I wonder what Wikipedia has to say about this. Let's see, it says, young Jesse is the Earth's last line of defense against an alien threat? That's it? That's all it fucking says? It's one sentence? It's not even correct. They wrote one sentence. Like, alien threat? Like, I don't know that they're fucking aliens. The movie never says that they're aliens. They look fucking human. God, if Wikipedia isn't gonna help, then you know we're fucked. But as vague and useless as this plot description is, wait till you see what was written for Rotten Tomatoes. A young boy turns out to be Earth's last line of defense against an alien threat in this satiric sci-fi adventure. In the year 2007, an advanced alien civilization has learned how to manipulate human beings as part of a strange game called Earth that they play for their own amusement. The chairman, leader of the alien tribes, has decided to up the ante and see if he can trick the people of Earth into destroying their own planet with nuclear weapons. The chairman abducts a family and spirits them off to his planet, leaving their young son Jesse behind by mistake. Jesse knows his parents have been stolen by aliens and is certain that they're up to no good, but he has had a hard time convincing anyone of this except for Isaiah, a local eccentric who lives in a shack on the outskirts of town. However, it turns out Jesse found just the right person. It seems Isaiah is actually an alien who has exiled himself to Earth, rather than participate in the games. And he soon gives Jesse a crash course on who is being manipulated and how to fight back. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. This is the worst fucking thing ever written by a human being. Okay, after TimeMaster, this is the second worst thing ever written. Wikipedia's one sentence said more than this rambling, incoherent fucking mess. I mean, they called the game Earth. Earth is where the game takes place. And then the reviewer calls the movie satiric?
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
What the fuck is satirical about this movie? That it exists? Whatever. I mean, I could sit here and nitpick the shit out of this review, but we would be here till next year. My point of looking at these plot synopses was just to give you an idea that I'm not the only one who's confused by this movie. It's fucking everyone. You would have to be Albert Einstein in order to understand the plot of this movie.
Albert Einstein once said that if World War III were to be fought with nuclear weapons, World War IV would be fought with sticks and stones.
Shut up, Marita. I'm gonna try and do my best to try and explain this movie to you, but I feel like I'm just gonna fail. The movie begins with a very, very long voiceover from Star Trek's Michael Dorn.
I am the chairman who rules the arena. Here we play a deadly game, traveling through temporal rifts, playing with alternative futures and parallel time. We take life forms from other planets to use as pawns in our game, and then suck the life out of them. Our people bet on the outcome with blue, the precious liquid that gives them eternal life. But Isaiah has deceived me. He's challenged the outcome of the game. He's chosen a boy, Jesse, to try to stop us from finishing off his pathetic little planet. We will take Jesse's parents as contestants.
It is never a good sign when your movie opens up with nearly 2 minutes of voiceover trying to explain the convoluted fucking plot. There is no way in fuck that I'm gonna make you sit through all 2 minutes and 45 seconds of this shit. So, being the nice guy that I am, I sped the shit up. At least that way you'll get somewhat of an idea of how fucking convoluted this is. Let's hope.
Earth year 2006, on a planet in a faraway galaxy. I am the chairman who rules the arena. Here we play a deadly game, traveling through temporal rifts, playing with alternative futures and parallel time, changing the past and the future. We take life forms from other planets to use as pawns in our game, and then suck the life out of them. Our people bet on the outcome with blue, the precious liquid that gives them eternal life. Our captive players fight for survival, and yet they have no free will, for we control all. We have sent our collector, Isaiah, once again to Earth to gather humans. We have been playing Earth for a long time. Wars, assassinations, disasters, all have been in our control. And now, the grand finale, thermonuclear destruction. But Isaiah has deceived me. He's challenged the outcome of the game. He's chosen a boy, Jesse, to try to stop us from finishing off his pathetic little planet. We will take Jesse's parents as contestants, and then suck the life out of them for our own people. Jesse and his sister are about to be orphans. We will send them back to the past. Isaiah may teach the boy the secrets of time and dimension, but he will not succeed in reaching the arena. Let the game continue.
Did you get all that? Because if you didn't, here are the cliff notes. The movie starts off in an alternate 2007 after the bombs have dropped. The chairman explains very poorly and vaguely what his people do and where they're from and kind of what they are.
We take life forms from other planets to use as pawns in our game, and then suck the life out of them. Our people bet on the outcome with blue, the precious liquid that gives them eternal life.
I have no idea if they're aliens or if they're us in the future. The movie has no fucking idea. At one point, Pat Morita says they exist in another universe.
Beyond this entire universe, is the planet from which I come.
And later on, the movie says they exist at the edge of the universe. Like, is this Futurama? If you don't know what I'm talking about, in Futurama, they actually go and visit the edge of the universe. It's a tourist spot. You can look over and see carbon copies of yourself in another universe. Is that what this is? I don't think so. Because the chairman in the opening monologue says that the Earth exists in a distant galaxy, leading one to believe that he exists in the same universe.
Earth year 2006. On a planet in a faraway galaxy.
So are they fucking aliens or are they from a different galaxy? I don't know. And if the movie sure as hell doesn't know, then we are fucked. And because the plot of this movie is so convoluted and fucking confusing, we will return to this subject many, many times. Can we talk about Yellowstone? Why is it a desert if
Thermonuclear destruction
is really the event that caused Yellowstone to look like this? We got some fucking issues. There is no nuclear device that would ever make this place look like a fucking desert. Let alone the fucking Sahara. It's been 6 months since the fucking bombs fell. Yeah, that's right, 6 months. We find out later on that the bombs fell in November 2006. It's clearly May 2007. Again, how does this place look like this after 6 months? If they showed Yellowstone as a irradiated wasteland with felled trees and dead animals, I could buy that. But the fucking Sahara, I can't. And with everything we've talked about already, I haven't even mentioned the military aspect of this whole thing. Why in the fuck would anyone nuke Yellowstone? There's nothing there. There's no military applications whatsoever. It's a fucking national park. Why would the Russians or the Chinese or the North Koreans or the fucking Zeta Reticulans decide, yep, I'm gonna nuke that fucking forest? It's full of fucking natural resources. Why the hell would you do this? It makes no sense. This part is fucking stupid, just like every other part of this goddamn convoluted mess of a fucking thing they call a movie. Now's about as good a time as any to meet our characters. First up, we have protagonist Jesse and his sister Veronica, who are apparently having what some people might call a conversation.
Ice cream? Yeah. Ice cream. Cheeseburgers. I miss cheeseburgers. I don't remember cheeseburgers.
Mother of God. Christ.
Thanks, Twister. I think that accurately sums up how I feel about this. Jesse and Veronica here are played by real-life brother and sister, Jesse and Veronica. I mean, really? It's bad enough that Glickenhaus forced his kids to do this, but he didn't even bother to change their names. Real original. Moving on from Jesse and Veronica, we are then introduced to Mom and Dad.
Time before that was cowboys and Indians.
Joanna Pacula plays Evelyn Adams. She's probably most well known for portraying Kate, Doc Holliday's girl in Tombstone.
I don't understand. I'm your woman. You got killed. Where does it leave me?
Without a meal ticket, I suppose.
She doesn't do one thing that is even noteworthy in this film, so yeah, we're gonna just move on. While Mom might scrape the bowels of suctitude, Dad, on the other hand, is a very different issue. The character of Jonathan Adams may be shit, but he's played by the awesome Duncan Rager. He's known to most assholes for his many roles on various Star Trek shows, which I could give two shits about. But to me, he's known primarily for one thing.
Give me the amulet, you bitch!
That's right, he was Count Dracula in one of my favorite movies of all time, The Monster Squad. Oh yeah, Duncan Rager's in this movie. As I've stated before, the character sucks, but Duncan Rager's cool. As our plot slowly grinds on, the home base for our nuclear refugees is attacked by a bunch of Mad Max rip-off bandits. Ooh, how menacing these bandits are. Those deadly bolas will definitely come in handy. I mean, check out these base super defenses. It amounts to some hubcaps lining the top of the defenses, a wall of tires, and a single strand of barbed wire. Like, yeah, that's gonna keep the bandits out. While the bandit attack is going on, we finally get introduced to the dipshits from wherever the fuck they're from. Looking very much like the band Devo, I might add.
Are you, who are you?
Whip it good!
They are led here by Commando Leader, I know, extremely original, played by Lindsay Gittner of X-Files fame.
Howdy.
He happens to be the chairman's muscle, and he really doesn't do anything except have a very horrific accent.
Isaiah is time traveling again, and this time he is traveling towards us. He also has Jonathan's son, Jesse, with him.
But one of his men should be very familiar, Pat Morita. He's playing Isaiah, and if you don't know who Pat Morita is, you can go fuck yourself. Get some goddamn culture.
All of life itself is a vision. Nothing exists, 'tis all a dream.
He's basically reprising his tired old role as Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. He's Mr. Miyagi.
Who said that?
Mark Twain.
Leader and co are here from wherever the fuck they came from to steal Jesse's parents. They are mostly interested in Jonathan, who was a member of Delta Force.
Jonathan Adams was a park ranger at some place called Yellowstone National Park. Ex-member of the elite Delta Force.
Are we really gonna believe this? These people have been coming to Earth for years, and none of them happen to know what fucking Yellowstone is? You might be saying, well, is it really that big of a deal? Yeah, because Pat Morita clearly knows what New York City is.
Would always bring me to New York City. Thanksgiving Day.
And while we're on the fucking subject, Commando Fuck here knows exactly what the fucking White House is.
We ran a simulation of the last moments of planet Earth. Our top game master made it to the White House kitchen.
And he's the one who uttered this stupid fucking line.
At some place called Yellowstone National Park.
That's the problem with this movie. It doesn't know its own rules. It just makes them up as it goes. Whatever's convenient at the moment, that's what we're gonna go with. That's TimeMaster in a nutshell. God, this movie sucks. Yeah, I know. I need to get back on fucking track. Stupid Devo here, they want to steal the parents so they can participate in their world's version of the game. Which, believe me, we're going to talk about in a minute. Devo shoots an unnecessary rocket at a small mound of tires.
Do it.
I mean, they literally could have just moved the 4 tires in their way, but whatever, I guess Devo wanted to make an entrance. And the future douches stun the family and they leave with them to wherever the hell it is they're going.
Once they've cooled down, load Jonathan and Evelyn into the transporter.
What about the children, sir?
What about them?
Why does Pat Morita all of a sudden care about these stupid kids? This feels kind of forced. Are we supposed to buy this heart of gold bullshit from a guy who spent a career tearing families apart? Why does he care all of a sudden about these stupid kids? Oh, that's right, because he switched sides and now he wants to teach Jesse the ways of being a time master. If that was really the case, why didn't he pick Jonathan? You know, the guy from Delta Force? Why would you pick a kid? I think now would be a good time to start talking about the game. If you remember the intro from before, the chairman gives a description of the game. His description is mostly technobabble and doesn't really make a lot of sense. Let me try and sum it up for you. Devo steals people from other time periods, maybe parallel universes, I don't know, they don't really ever say, so that they can use them in some sort of virtual reality game where a player controls a live person known as a pawn. If the person controlling the pawn loses, their life force is sucked dry. The life force is then turned into blue, which is what these people bet on. Now that we know the basics of the game, what became of Evelyn and Jonathan? Evelyn is taken to live in their world, wherever the hell that is, and she's even given a new outfit, complete with dreadlocks. You know, that raises the question about the people who play the game. Are they like gladiators? Are they owned by someone? Are they free to move among these people? Do they have restrictions on what they can do and where they can go? Don't know, she kind of just leaves after the first game. It doesn't look like she's escorted out or anything, so I don't know. And John, on the other hand, he has become Evelyn's pawn, which means she is playing the game using her husband, much like a chess piece. John is not in the future place, he's actually in the Old West. Yeah, let that sink in. Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
It's time.
To break this down more simply, Evelyn is in some faraway possible alternate universe controlling her husband in the past in maybe another alternate universe? Yeah, if that's not confusing, don't worry, it gets more confusing as this movie goes on. Can we real quickly talk about the place where the game takes place? Palisade City? Stop, sorry. There is so much stupid shit going on in this scene that I need to rant about it. Remember that this is some place that exists in another
faraway galaxy.
Or
parallel time.
So why the fuck is this place populated with nothing but famous Earth landmarks? Check it out. You got the Sphinx, the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Big Ben, the Sydney Opera House, the Roman Colosseum, the Eiffel Tower, and some Easter Island statues. Like, what the fuck? How the hell is this located at the edge of the universe? This is clearly Earth. You cannot convince me otherwise. And they use the Gregorian calendar. How the fuck do they disassociate themselves with Earth so much when everything about their stupid culture is stolen from Earth? Speaking of the Gregorian calendar, notice the date. It's 1.5 years after the world ends, and just shy of over a year when Jesse's parents were stolen. Why is this important?
I don't know!
Yeah, there's really no reason to bring it up right now, but that 2008 date is going to be very important later on. Back inside the arena, we see Evelyn's opponent, Mordor. Not the land where Sauron hailed from, but this guy.
What about Mordor?
Played by Nils Allen Stewart, probably better known for playing Jesse Ventura in that god-awful TV movie, The Jesse Ventura Story.
Those are your rules, Jeff. No, those are American rules. That's the American way. You win if you can, you lose if you must, but you always cheat.
Maybe I'll review that someday. Probably not. Anyways, his pawn is some old guy who likes to belch. While John is the sheriff, come to hang him.
Any last words?
That got me wondering about pawns. We, the audience, know that John is Evelyn's pawn. Whether or not she actually knows that that's her husband, that's up for debate. But what about Mordor's pawn? Did he know this guy? Was he related to him? Was he his brother or his dad? Was he his fucking gym teacher? We never find out. And what about Mordor as a player? Is he like Evelyn, taken from another time period? Or is he one of the chairman's people forced to fight for their pleasure? I don't know, we never find out. This guy is one of the main antagonists, and we have no idea what his motivations are. That's what we call terrible script writing, kids. Players of the game use a gaming board with just random shit glued on it, and the game has one of the most hilarious looking helmets ever created in cinema history. You think that's undignified? Wait till you see Michael Dorn wearing that fucking thing. We jump back into the game, Belching Man is led to the gallows, and a whole bunch of stupid shootout shit happens.
Any last words?
And in the ensuing chaos, John is shot, critically wounding him. And then this happens.
Run, Jesse!
Yeah, there's a Jesse here too. This isn't the same Jesse who was whisked away from 2007 to another time period by Isaiah. For all intents and purposes, this is Jesse number 2. And I hope you get your fill, because he's never seen again. And you're probably asking, why? Well, we'll get to that. But for now, there are 2 Jessies in this movie. From what we can discern from this mess, these are 2 separate parallel universes. This is not the main storyline where Jesse number 1 from 2007 exists. The Old West must be another parallel universe, but then Evelyn in another parallel universe is playing the Old West parallel universe in the game. Now, take a deep breath and let that sink in. Think about it for a few seconds. Now, take it out of your fucking brain and chuck it out the window, because what I just told you will be completely irrelevant probably in 5 minutes. And that's the problem with this movie. Anytime you try to figure out the time travel, parallel universe bullshit, it comes and just kicks you right in the nuts and says, you know what? You don't know shit. You think you know how time travel works? Pfft, we know how it works here in TimeMaster, and it's the most confusing fucking thing ever created. Ugh. Before we move any further, I'm going to call this episode a wrap. We'll come back to this piece of shit in the next episode. Because if I haven't made my point that this movie's confusing as fuck, just wait till the next episode. This movie goes further and further off the rails, and somehow makes even less sense. So, till next time.
Ice cream.
Yeah. Ice cream.
Silos needed. Silos needed. Silos needed. Silos needed. Silos needed.